Hi there. I want to talk about AWS certification exams, one of which I recently passed, and to be exact, I passed AWS Certified Developers Associate exam, which is my second one after the Cloud Solutions Architect, which I passed a year ago. In this video, I want to talk about these exams, compare them, which one was harder for me, and how I studied for it, how long it took me, and also about the examination process itself. So if you are thinking about taking this exam, I might have some interesting information for you. Let's start with SAA, which is Cloud Solutions Architect Associate, and it took me about 2 to 3 months to prepare for it. And before that, I had really limited experience with AWS, so I decided to take an introductory course to it. For this, I chose Adrian Cantrill's SAA course, which actually covers more than what exam itself contains. And I went through half of it before I gave up. I gave up because I thought it was too long and not compact at all. So after that, I started reading cheat sheets, which I will link in the description. So these cheat sheets give you good overview or summaries of the services, and they are really compact. So it won't take much time reading through them. And together with this, I started taking practice tests, and for each test question, unless it was really easy, I looked up the corresponding AWS documentation and went through it. And it gave me really good insight into AWS services, and actually way more insight than anything else. So it's helped me a lot. You don't have to follow the same path I did. You can actually take the official AWS courses offered by their partners, but of course they are not. None of these are free. Some of the material is free, but if you want to get good course, you will have to pay for it. I had scheduled an exam beforehand, so I didn't give myself much time. And thinking I would actually fail, I took the exam. But the questions were really logical, and I had just enough knowledge to exclude the wrong answers and eventually arrive at the right answer, or at least increase the odds of choosing the right answer. So as the result, I got a passing score of 810. Not like the score in these exams matter, but still. As for the Developers Associate exam, once again I took Adrian Cantrill's course. This time I went through it fully, but still thinking it's too long, I skimmed through it and didn't follow along the demos, and completely skipped some parts. And once again I read through cheat sheets and read the corresponding documentation for practice tests. And again I gave myself 2 to 3 months, thinking it's enough. The DVA was actually harder for me because it was aimed more towards checking your knowledge, and the questions were really low level and technical, just what the AWS developer should know. No obvious wrong answers, and this time it was actually checking the knowledge, so you either knew something or you didn't. So if you didn't know the answer, arriving at the right answer using logic was harder in this case because it was, as I mentioned, it was knowledge based. But I managed to pass it with a score of about 824. So yeah, going through practice tests and documentation paid off. As for the examination process itself, I took an online proctored exam using Pearson VUE. So they have some requirements you need to meet, like you need to have stable connection, you need to have video camera, you need to have your microphone and speaker, and you cannot have headphones or Bluetooth speakers. Actually, I almost got disqualified because I was using Bluetooth speakers, and the fact that I could connect this using cable saved me. Also, you should take into account that in order to take this online proctored exam, you need to use their software, which is not available on Linux, and on macOS for some reason it didn't start, so I had to use Windows machine. And as for the environment, there shouldn't be excessive noise, and obviously there shouldn't be anyone else other than you in the room. Your desk should be empty. Nothing you won't be using should be there. They even don't let you have any paper. And the proctor actually made me remove my glass cloth from the desk. Also, you cannot have extra monitor. And when the proctor connects to you, they made you move the camera around so they can observe the room And also, if you do not live alone, you should let others know not to disturb you in this during the testing process, because it might end up in you being disqualified. So you should take that into account. Before you got connected to your proctor, you should actually take the photos of your ID, of your environment in all directions, and upload it to on view. You will get all the instructions when you schedule the exam. And as for stable connection, I had to use LAN cable. Now their software lets you check your requirements, and using Wi-Fi didn't meet their internet requirements, so I had to use LAN cable. As for the testing process, it's really straightforward, but you always should have your speakers, microphone, and camera on, so the proctor can observe you. And as for the result, I got my result after about 26 hours. And if you are taking this exam at the examination center, I think you get the pass or fail answer right away. There are a couple more things you should know about, like if you're not native English speaker, you can ask for extra 30 minutes, and it's really easy to ask for these 30 minutes, so go for it if you're not English native speaker. I myself forgot I could ask for it, so I didn't use it. And second important thing is that at some point when studying for these exams, you will come to exam dumps, which are actual questions from previous exams. So basically they are stolen from exam, which according to AWS is illegal, and they have some machine learning algorithm to search for patterns in your answers, so they can detect if you have studied using these exam dumps. If you are going to use them at your own risk. So if you are just starting to prepare for this exam, I would suggest if you do not have any experience with AWS, get some introductory course like Adrian Cantrell's course. But if you have some experience with AWS, you will get bored with Adrian's course really easily, and you will find it being too long. So go ahead and buy some official study book, which are available online. You can get this and study using this instead of getting a course. But no matter what your experience with AWS is, when you are preparing for this examination, I strongly suggest take practice tests and look up corresponding documentation on AWS, because this gives you right at target knowledge for this exam. These exams are not as hard as people make it to be. The professional ones are really hard, as I have heard, but the associate ones are really not that hard. It's like average. So it's definitely possible on the first try, and this kind of certification is really valued. It's one of the most valued certificates available out there. So if you got this, you will be more desirable employee, and you will get more offers than usually, and you will actually show up more in LinkedIn search. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and I actually plan to get other AWS certificates also. So if you want to be kept up to date, consider subscribing. And of course, if you have some questions, ask in the comments and I'll answer them.